Guys, I am absolutely addicted to Fortnite Season 4 right now. I know you guys that it's only day 2 of Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 4, but I'm already clocking a lot more hours than I should, and even more than I did at the beginning of Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 3, which is going to go down as one of my favorite seasons of all time. I'm genuinely obsessed with this season right now because it is just that good. The season just feels alive, and it definitely feels like Fortnite, much like Season 3 did. They're starting to do those kind of like little weird things that they used to do before, where they do stuff that's kind of out there that they know a lot of people may not like just for the sake of doing it, because that's what Fortnite is. Everything from the weapon variety to map changes and just in general the chaos on the Fortnite map right now just feels so much fun. But these are my first impressions of the brand new season, and as you can probably tell, I think it is pretty freaking amazing. I'm still gonna run through some of the story hints as well, but if you guys want a full breakdown of the story, I made one yesterday. It's in the top right of your screen here. So first off, let's start with arguably the best part of this brand new season is probably the weapons and exotics. Loadouts feel fresh every game, and I'm gonna be honest, you guys, one of my biggest things that I love about Fortnite is when they do things in the game, there's a large variety of loadouts and weapons. I hate dropping into a game knowing exactly what type of guns I'm gonna have, what I'm gonna look for, and what my loadout is gonna look like for the entire game. I hate that. I like my loadouts to be different just about every single game. I don't like it when they add weapons to the game that are clearly never going to be used because they're terrible in comparison to another one. A great example of this is like anytime the Hollow Twister assault rifle has been in Fortnite, especially Chapter 6 Season 1, the Hollow Twister was probably the only ranged weapon worth picking up at that point, and I never picked up the Fury assault rifle or the Ranger, but now I feel like I'm picking up more and more different guns because we have so much of a variety. We have about 4 or 5 different shotgun variations, and we have about 3 or 4 different varieties of ARs as well, which I have absolutely loved. The OXR rifle feels perfect for this brand new season. It feels like a war weapon, and it just fits really, really well in the loot pool. The mythic for it, by the way, is also insane. Overall, you guys, we got some really, really cool brand new weapons. The like iconic ones of this season are the Bug Blaster, the Lead Spitter 3000, which is probably like the main event of this new season, the Sweeper Shotgun, the OXR rifle like I just mentioned, the Wrecker Revolver, which is probably my favorite, the Swarm Strike Rocket Launcher, the Blade Blaster, which is coming out later in the season, along with the giant nuke item that we're going to be getting at some point, and of course later on we're also getting the bizarre roly-poly roll gadget. I won't be talking about the other stuff that we're getting later on in the season because obviously I haven't used it yet, but these weapons so far fit really well in the season, and all of them are actually worth picking up like I said. And just a quick reminder, you guys, if you are enjoying the current video, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on, because I make videos like these every single day. The Bug Blaster, first off, you guys, when I first picked this up and tried to use it in a fight, I honestly thought it was like terrible. I was never going to pick this up again, but after I used it a little bit more and more, and it's funny because the stats for this are actually a little messed up. It says it does like 900 or 906 damage or something like that. I thought that was pretty funny, but this one actually is great for defeating the bug queens when you're trying to get the medallions. You're able to shoot it over and over and over again until it runs out. It doesn't like have a cooldown or anything. You don't have to reload it. I actually really, really like the Bug Blaster and think you guys should pick it up if you're going after bugs or the medallions. The Lead Spitter 3000, you guys probably know how awesome that one is already, and one thing I love about this is that they didn't make it super duper rare. It's actually pretty easy to find and doesn't come in only legendary or mythic or something like that. It obviously, you know, is a little bit different from the minigun, which I'm glad they did. When I first reacted to this in the trailers, I was worried that it was just going to be like the regular old minigun, but they made it very specific. The reticle moves around a little bit. It's hard to aim with because it's heavy, and you know, it has like 12 barrels or something like that. So I really like what they did with that. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but I really don't think that's the point. It also feels like it speeds up a little bit when you're using it as well, so I think it's great for destroying builds, and especially, you guys, I don't know if you've gotten this one, but I believe when you get the S+ rank in this, when your like thing comes down, when your supply drop comes down, at some point you can get the mythic Lead Splitter 3000, and this one is insane. The max size goes up by almost 100 or 200 or something like that, and it is crazy. You're able to shoot it for so long, and it was so fun to use. Now, the Sweeper Shotgun is probably my least favorite out of all of these. I do think it's cool. The reticle is definitely different. I really just haven't used it very much because, to be honest, the Wrecker Revolver kind of takes the cake for the best, in my opinion, in this season. And like I said, we have so many varieties. We still have the, you know, the Sentinel Pump. We still have the Twin Fire Shotgun as well, the Twin Fire Auto Shotgun. We have this new Sweeper Shotgun as well as the Wrecker Revolver. And if you get S+ rank, you also get the Havoc Shotgun as well, which is crazy. The Havoc Pump, I believe it does like 130 damage or something like that when it's mythic, so that is awesome. I haven't actually been able to use that in the game yet, like actually in a real game. You're just seeing it in the background here in a custom match because getting S plus is really, really difficult. But something that I do like that they did, and I'm very happy that they included all the like S ranks and everything, the rank system still in the game, is that when you kill the bugs, your rank system actually goes up. That is amazing because otherwise it would be nearly impossible to get to S plus in this season, or even S to be honest, because it's very, very difficult to do so with just kills. So if you guys are trying to rank up for those drops really quickly, make sure you are breaking all of the little like spire things, killing every bug you see, and it'll go up pretty fast. Now, like I said, you guys, the Wrecker Revolver is really cool, and something that I really like specifically that they did with shotguns is that you can double pump with this Wrecker Revolver. I'm pretty sure the reason they added double pump into regular BR is because it was supposed to be removed from Season 5, but if you guys have been playing, you know that they did not remove double pump from Season 5, even though it's not supposed to be there. I think that's pretty funny, but it has been so much fun. The Swarm Strike rocket launcher is also a lot of fun. Again, I haven't used that one very much, but I've been killed multiple times by people using an impulse, going up in the air, and then shooting me down with it, which is very frustrating, but you know, it's just something you gotta deal with. I think it's a really unique weapon, and especially since it tracks cars, it's very easy to kill people when they're trying to run away. The exotics as well are really, really cool, and one thing that I wanted to bring up in particular is the exotic Slapberry Fizz. Now, this thing, when I first got into one of the vaults, when I opened it and stared at it, I was like, are you serious? I just got this rank and went all the way over here for some Slapberry Fizz, but it is actually really good, especially if you pair it with one of the medallions, the double jump medallion. You can go insanely far with this. It gives you unlimited stamina, which means you're able to sprint as well as double jump as much as you want, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Overall, you guys, because of the weapons, the matches just feel different every single time. Whether, you know, you're going after the bugs with the bug blaster, going crazy with the Swarm Strike rocket launcher, or just spraying people down with the lead spitter, it is so much fun, and there is a weapon for literally every type of player and situation. Now, I touched on this a little bit a second ago, but the medallions and the movement are insane. The mobility in general this season is insane, even though we really only have a few movement items. Them adding back the impulse launcher was one of my favorite things they did. That's one of my favorite mobility items ever. And the Slapberry Fizz, like I said, you pair that with some type of, whether it's the one that gives you more speed and a boost with sliding or the double jump one, you are going to be able to go very, very far. And if you get the S plus boon, you also have higher movement speed, higher reload speed, as well as unlimited stamina. So pair that with a bunch of these medallions like you'll see in the background, and you are going to be zooming across the map. No one will be able to hit you, man. That is definitely a sight you do not want to see in the game, but I think they did a great job with the mobility. Also, the super launch pads are great. It just makes the game feel so much more high octane, and that's what I love about Fortnite. I hate when it feels really, really slow just in general, and they did a great job with that this season. Chase downs have been a lot of fun, but one of the most terrifying things, you guys, is when you don't have heals or you need to reload your weapon and someone is chasing you down full force, because there's no way that you are getting away from them. If they have an impulse launcher, if they have one of the medallions, that person is going to chase you across the entire map. And another thing too, you guys, is that medallions are actually worth going after. You know what I mean? In general, I feel like Fortnite has kind of gotten away from medallions being like really, really good. Last season they were okay, but this season I think they are very good and definitely worth going after. It's almost a must to have the medallions this season because they are absolutely lethal. In addition to that, they also kind of revamped how you go after medallions as well. Of course, you're still killing something to get them, but it's more like a boss instead of just an NPC. Getting medallions has pretty much been the same since they brought them in Fortnite Chapter 5, and I think it was really cool how they made them be like even louder when you're trying to get them, and even more people going after them with this giant, you know, bug queen. Everybody's shooting it. It takes a lot more to actually kill. I just think they did a good job with that, and I thought it was pretty creative. And of course, we cannot talk about Fortnite Season 4 without talking about the bugs. Now, the bugs, do not get me wrong, you guys, I think they are very cool. They're so much fun to use and play around with, but they are so annoying. But that's kind of the point. It kind of brings me back to Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 6 when they added the zombies. That was one of the first times where I've really seen everybody in the community upset. No one was happy with the zombies, and I don't really think they even did anything to get rid of them. They just kept them spawning all over the place all the time. They would break your builds, they would try to kill you, they would throw stuff at you, and that's kind of the same thing we see with the bugs. There's also small ones and there's heavy ones. I think what they did with that is really cool, but they are so annoying. The good thing is though is that they only take like 1 or 2 hits to kill, and they actually drop good stuff such as ammo, and I even think I've seen some of them drop like shields and things like that. Getting good weapons in this season and having enough ammo and builds and stuff like that really hasn't been that difficult. It really helps you focus more on like the combat rather than just trying to find stuff to use to play the game, and I think that's something that they did extraordinarily well in this brand new season. Now, Fortnite also did a fantastic job with the brand new map, and we got it pretty much like a whole new biome. I didn't expect 4 new locations, but we've got the Hive, Swarmy Stash, the OXR HQ, Ranger's Ruin, and even Demon's Domain got a new twist being called Demon's Debris. Now the map looks half infested, half like a military stronghold, which makes the drop rotation really cool and like a lot of variety to the map in general. It's a complete vibe overhaul with this map. I feel like last season we also had a really big contrast, but I love how committed they were to the invasion. It's not just like they're in a few little POIs. They took like up this entire area of the map, literally infested the ground. Like the ground changed colors. It's different. They're swarming all over the place. They really committed to the theme. And I think that's something Fortnite is kind of scared to do sometimes, is fully commit to a brand new theme. And I love how they did that. And another thing too, you guys, this is just a small little thing, but it's something I noticed the moment I went into one of the new vaults. I love that they stuck with the rank vaults from last season, but what they did is made them a lot bigger and have a lot better loot. If you want the exotic loot in this season, you gotta hit rank A and go to these big vaults where they have this giant alarm that goes off, the doors take forever to open, and it pulls me back to the chapter 5 vaults that I loved so much. They were always super contested, they were high stakes, and I think that makes it a lot more fun. Last season, it was kind of easy to get into them, and there wasn't a lot of people going after them, and a lot of the times you had to buy the good loot, which I think kind of sucked. You had to rank up just to get into the vault. I think that kind of sucked, and I'm really not the biggest fan of that, but they do have a cool mix of like having the kind of market theme as well as just having you rank up to get some really good loot. Now, something I also wanted to bring up is that this season, visually and thematically in general, just screams Helldivers. Bug fights, the militarized map, I really do like it, and I'm convinced, I fully believe that a collab was planned or inspired. I think that they definitely could have had a Helldivers thing in the battle pass. Maybe they pulled out at the last second or something like that, but I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Helldivers collab, and I think a lot of people share the same thought. But one thing, and my biggest request for this season, is I want this war to continue to play out in front of us. I want to see territory overtaken over time, bug zones expanding, maybe OXR goes in and takes over a location, or the bugs take over a location. I really want to see that happen, a full like territory change. We kind of saw that back in chapter 3 season 2 with the first full like war season. We were able to see where the IO had territory as well as the 7 did on the map. I thought that was great, and I really hope they do something like this later on in the season with season 4. And additionally, you guys, the storyline is absolutely insane this season, and it looks like they're continuing where they left off in season 3, not just completely scrapping the last storyline. We've still got Daigo involved. Jones and Hope are still involved. They're studying a piece of the tentacle down in Supernova Academy. I'm very excited to see where it goes. Like I said, I made a full video on that. It's in the top right of your screen here. But bottom line, you guys, Fortnite season 4 is a chaotic, weaponized playground, and I'm absolutely addicted. I think it's so much fun. Whether it's the mobility, the weapons, the bugs, or the story, everything has been just perfect so far this season. But let me know what you guys think down below. What is your favorite mythic, or just your favorite part of this season so far? Let me know. Drop a like on today's video. You watched all the way to the end. You must have enjoyed, so drop a like. Subscribe to the channel. I make videos like these every single day. Use code PROZEROYT, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.